Hi Mark, thanks for talking to All Sports Asia. How's your Singapore experience going?
Amazing place. First time, travelled a bit over the years, but I've passed through Singapore before, but this is the first time I've got out and managed to have a look around the city. Beautiful, amazing place, amazing hotel. I've enjoyed it a lot.
It's been a big week for Singapore with the IMMAF Asian Open Championships, supported by the UFC, obviously the UFC Fight card, Saturday night. How important is it for MMA, for this part of the world, hosting a week like this?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, we've just finished the Asian Open for the amateurs with IMMAF. It's always a personal highlight for me. It's something I'm inextricably linked with. Something I take a lot of pleasure in dealing with is watching the young amateurs come through, and obviously from my side it's a vested interest for the officials too. It's not just about for me, obviously watching the amateurs, the athletes come through, but from my side, carrying out educational courses and seminars, and then giving the officials, judges and referees a chance to come through as well. It's going from strength to strength, and I love being part of these tournaments.
Fantastic. Are you refereeing Saturday night?
I am refereeing tomorrow night, yeah.
Yep. Excellent, because for me, you and Big John McCarthy are the two best in the business, so it's going to be good to see you.
I appreciate that. I'm looking forward to it, and no, thank you, that means a lot.
And are the new rules going to be in place?
Yes.
They are?
Yes, they are.
Obviously, there's been a bit of, because some countries are implementing the new rules and some aren't, so there's been a little bit of confusion in some of the fights.
There is.
How's it been for the referees?
I'm only going to speak for me. Personally, it's not a problem for me, because as a professional, I turn up and I do what they tell me to do. If they say do this, I'll do this. If they say leave that out, I'll leave that out. I'll take it in my stride, and it doesn't upset me. But I do feel for the fighters and some of the newer referees, perhaps, who haven't had the exposure at the bigger level. It's going to take time. Change in general. This is not unique to mixed martial arts. Humans and people in general, they don't like change. And like I said, this sport is still, when you look at it, we're still a relatively young sport. Evolution and the need for change is going to be constant. And that package of rule revisions that were implemented in 1st of January this year, voted on last August. Like I said, there's more and more countries adopting it. I think where the muddy waters sit are more in the US, because not all of the member states have actually adopted them yet. But I think given time and a little bit of common sense, just water will find its own level, and it will gradually feed out to the guys. But I do feel for the fighters, and we try and keep them at ease when we explain to them. Try and put it in as simple a fashion as possible. Fight your fight and let the referees worry about the other things.
Are there any rules you yourself would like to see implemented or changed?
Implemented? No, maybe a little revision on doctors' inspections. There was a bit of coverage over a fight I'd done a couple of weeks ago in Sweden with regards to eye pokes, trying to explain the difference between a low blow foul and other fouls where fighters can avail themselves for 5 minutes. But it's a tricky subject because a lot of people don't understand the difference, and the fact that what we want to do is keep the stoppages to a minimum, because fighters could potentially milk the fact that they've got 5 minutes. I'm not saying they do. If a fighter's hurt, he's hurt, or if he can't see, he can't see. But I think maybe a little bit more clarification on that, seeing if we can extend or clarify the full 5 minute rule to cover more fouls. Taking fouls out, I'd like to see abolish the 12 to 6 elbow for one.
I agree with that, yeah.
But I think it will come, it's fairly antiquated, and there's no more significance to a standing 12 to 6 elbow. Less significance in actual fact than somebody performing a standing spinning elbow. But like I said, evolution and the need for improvement, it remains constant, and I think it will be submitted again to the ABC as a change, and it will be voted on by the relevant people, and we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, brilliant. I hope you have a smooth night Saturday. Look forward to it.
All right, thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Cheers.